We're live. Hi, and welcome to Gay Out
Yeah.
the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and today I am here with blogger, OnlyFans content creator, and model. Please welcome back my friend Ramiro Lozano. How you doing, man?
Hey, hi. Thank you. I'm good. Great.
Yes,
Happy to be here for a second time. Thank you for inviting me.
yes, of course. I know it's been
Like a year, no?
so.
More than a year, maybe?
It's
Yeah.
been a little over a year. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's as we were kind of talking about before, like I've seen so much has happened with you in like the past year, and I feel like so much has happened with me as well. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's more than a year.
yeah, well, some people could be like, it's been a year and nothing's happened, but like, well, I wouldn't say nothing's happened, but like they're in their same old like routine and they haven't really
Doing
changed much.
exactly the same, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, sometimes happen, but no, with us, no, babe. We're
uh,
doing like a lot of things at the same time.
of course not, because like, especially me. So as I was just telling Ramiro off camera, I just moved recently, and like that's probably been like the one of the biggest changes in my life because obviously like I literally just decided I had one of those it's times things. I had money saved up that I moved thousands of miles away, like start over because I needed a fresh start.
Well, that's great. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, like it's always hard, like the part like you have to move and you have to separate from your comfort area, because normally we
Yes.
always have this comfort area when we have our family or friends or whatever, and we don't want to move. But at the end, I think like every change is for a good reason. So I think it's gonna be great.
Yes. Thank you. Well, I mean, you know that you literally. I remember from last time you uprooted because of your former partner. You uprooted from Mexico and you flew all the way over to Spain, which is like,
Yeah. Well, I moved from Monterrey to Mexico City to be a
yeah,
star modeling, as I told you the
yeah,
last time.
right,
And I've been working in Mexico City as a model like for 6 years, in agencies. And one of the agencies that I was working, it was Contempo Models, with the owner is Oscar Madrazo. And then I moved to Spain in
yes,
2016. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So actually, that is my first question. So once you became single after you two broke up, was there any part of you that thought to leave Spain, or was it just you knew that you kind of wanted to stay in Spain because you were already there?
Well, to be honest, like at the beginning, I never thought that I will be ending in Spain, or I'm now in
Right.
Spain, because it was not my plan. I'm from Monterrey, from Mexico. I was moving to Mexico City to start being like a model and do model stuff. And then in Mexico, I met a guy this guy was from Spain.
Yeah.
So we talked to come here like in the future, la 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 la. And at the end, we get married in order to came here because it was like the easy way to came to Spain.
Right.
And I came for love, actually, not for another reason more than love. And yeah, everything was perfect at the beginning, but of course, like with time and with the pandemic, everything started going like fall apart. So
Right.
in 2020, we decided to break, because it was like the best decision. So it was not working at all. And then I was here in Spain, it was just me with my cat. So I was like with all these feelings about like, should I stay in Spain? Should I back to Mexico? But at the end, I decided to stay here because I really love the country, the food, the culture. And at the end, I start feeling more like I belong here, like I like to stay here. So
Right.
that doesn't mean that I don't love my country. I love Mexico. I love my family. I love my food. But I also love now Spain. So it's like these two things. So I'm happy staying here right now, actually. Yeah.
I can totally understand that because like after now moving thousands of miles, like
Yeah. It is hard, eh? It's hard. It's not easy.
oh, absolutely. Like those last few so what would happened was, so like there was a time I actually had to fly up here twice, but I was literally going back and forth like twice between here and Florida, trying to
Yeah.
make stuff work. And then finally, once I came the second time, I saw this apartment, and I was actually scheduled to see two other apartments through the same like company, but I said, don't bother. I like this place. I want to get it down.
Let's
When
do
can
it.
I move in? Yeah, of
Yeah, well,
course.
yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm happy that you are doing the same too. It's
yes,
always like a good step, when you are doing something like that. At the beginning, feel like you are scared, but then when everything start like going well, just like, oh my god, like I think I do the right decision.
yes. Honestly, first of all, yes, absolutely that. Like once I made that decision, so like I remember the like first time I came up here visiting, and I was sad to leave. I'm like, that's when I knew I was making the right decision. Like
Okay.
in that very moment, I was like, I don't want to go home. I want to be here because I was never really happy at home, especially like for the last, I would say, like year and a half, 2 years living with my dad.
Yeah.
In some ways, I almost had like a prisoned existence, meaning like I was pretty much trapped in my room because he had this dog that didn't like me and would try to attack me when I was in the house. So like,
Okay. Oh, okay.
yeah, so like once I made the decision, it felt like I'm free, and I was so like glad about that. And obviously, I have like lots of plans, but as I tell people, everything will happen in time.
No, and of
Yeah,
course, like once that you're doing this, is like you start feeling free. You start feeling doing whatever you want. You are choosing what you want to eat. You wanna do whatever. It's
yeah,
like it's very different when you are living with someone, and especially if you are living with your parents. It's like
yes,
it's hard because you cannot be maybe yourself. And when you start
absolutely,
doing what you want, it's like when you start feeling free and you start growing up. So that's
yes,
amazing. It's like a part of you that you are growing. You are feeling
yes,
different.
yes. So, okay. So I kind of know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you. So, when you became single, was there any thought of changing your content on OnlyFans?
This last time you are talking.
Yes, yes. Your most
No,
recent.
well, like I mean, I mean, I came from this guy, which I was married, and we divorced in 2020. Then
Right.
I meet another guy in 2021. That he was the guy that support me a lot to start the OnlyFans. I think I told you in the last interview. He was like, "Oh my God,
Yes.
Ramiro, like." With your body and with your followers and shalalala, you should have an OnlyFans. So I was like, okay, I was think about it. A lot of people like they send me messages like, "Why you don't have an OnlyFans? Why you don't have an OnlyFans?" So then I start thinking, okay, maybe I should have an OnlyFans. Like there's a lot of persons that they want me in OnlyFans, and my partner he also would like to see me in OnlyFans. He also yeah, he not pushed me, but he was suggesting me, like you should do it.
Yes.
You have a nice body and you have a lot of followers, do it. So thanks to him, which I really appreciate him, I started the OnlyFans. But I started just like as I say, it's just me, like
Right.
my OnlyFans. I'm just doing pictures about my work, like about modeling, about me naked, or doing some artistic, erotic pictures, but just me. Yeah, yeah. But I'm started being single
Yes.
in November from the which year is 2024 to November 2023.
Yes.
And yeah, it was not for the OnlyFans that we break up. It was
Right.
because it was not working. It was not working,
Yes.
and we started being more as a friends. You know when you have your partner, but at the end, it's not like your partner is more like your roomie.
Right.
So we start with these kind of things, like we're more like friends.
Yes.
So we decide together that the best decision was to just break. It was hard because I really like the family and the culture because he was from Netherlands, But at the end, it was best, like literally,
Right.
like we both know that. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, to be clear, I'm going to call out something. Ramiro said on here last time that he wouldn't do any collaborations with anybody. And I know that he has done a collaboration with somebody. That's literally my next question because you collaborated with one of my friends. So what was it like for you working with Tanner Vaughn?
Well, it was actually not a collaboration.
It wasn't?
It's not a collaboration. No, 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 no. We was like in a party, with friends. Okay, so I
Yeah.
met this guy, and he's really cute and really, yeah, really nice guy. So we was just
Yes.
talking, and we was just joking about the stupid things. And then he was like, well, let's do some pictures together. So we start doing some pictures, and at the end he just tagged me. It's just like that. It's not like I was in a collaboration. It's really funny because a lot of people write me like, "Oh my god, like you finally do a collaboration with a guy," and I was like, no, that actually is not collaboration. It's just like we're just like in a party, And in that party, he was asking me like because we started being friends,
Right.
and he was just asking me like, I would like to do some pictures, and then let's do some pictures, joking, playing, and then that was the joke. Yeah.
So, so in other words, you
Plus,
guys,
I have a boyfriend now.
there are plenty of people who have boyfriends who collaborate with people
Collaborate. I know,
all
I
the
know, I know,
time.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I
Yeah.
know, and I know, but yeah, no, it was not collaboration, babe. I can tell you that. It was more
Yeah.
like we're friends, we're talking, and he's a very sweet guy. Really, really sweet.
No, I do. I like Tanner a lot. Like I haven't talked to him in a while, but like yeah, I like Tanner because Tanner's where Tanner lives is like an hour and a half from where my dad's place was. So I was used to
Oh,
go down.
wow.
Yeah, I used to go down there like all the time. That's where I would go when I wanted to see Queer Life because there wasn't any up near where my dad was. So I used to just go down and
Okay, no,
visit.
he's really
Yeah,
sweet. I
yeah,
was really impressed about him because he looks like very alpha macho, like this guy that he didn't talk or is very serious. And at the end, he was really sweet. I was like, oh my
yeah.
god, like you are super sweet. You are like this typical guy that like romantic things and Disney stuff. So yeah, it was really nice to meet this guy.
Yes. Okay. So being that you're constantly working, having to show confidence on camera, is there anything happening in your life that you wish people knew about? Because like they see you as the model, but is there anything that is kind of like going on behind the scenes that you wish people knew instead of just like the model that you are?
Well, of course, when you are doing modeling stuff and you are working as a model, you always have to be very confident by yourself, and you have to be very secure what you are doing and know your angles, your pose, and like you need to be very secure because otherwise they kill you. Like they destroy you in whatever place you're being. Even in a casting. But I mean, close people and family, they know who am I. They really know like this part of me that very different. Like I project like a very sexual image or a very sexy image on Instagram and social media, and normally I'm very like all the opposite. Like I mean, I like to play, I like video games, I like to read, I like to go to movie theaters, I like to talk a lot. Like I talk a lot, like I joke a lot. I joke about me, I joke about yourself, I joke about everyone. It's like I think that's the part that people they don't know about me, that I'm very playful and very different comparing with the image that I have on social media. That's the thing. Yeah, I think that's why people don't know or don't they cannot see, because it's clearly like you just see a picture, you just see a video, you just see a post. You will not see the person that is behind. It's very normal, but I'm very
Yes.
used to it, and it's very funny and happy when you meet people. Like for example, this guy Tenor, when I meet him, he was
Right.
telling me like, oh my god, like you also looks like very very different compared with the pictures and with the image that you have on social media.
Right.
And it's something like that. Yeah.
I would say honestly, like, first of all, I get that. As I always love to tell my fans, I'm a musician.
Yeah.
I write my own music. If there's any secrets that I've wanted to tell y'all, believe me, I have 2 albums written that I'm hoping to come out.
Nice.
Projected time, I said this year originally, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. So we're hoping, now that I moved, next year by, you know what, I'm not going to give you all time. It's going to come out when it's going to come out.
Okay.
Because, like,
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
yes. So, like, I really don't have a lot that is, like, hidden behind the, like, camera. Whereas, like, I'm as authentic as I can be. I, like, tell my opinions, and there's just, in terms of being confident when you see me in pictures and stuff, yeah, that's part of it. Like, if I didn't look confident on camera, there's, at least in my view as a performer, as a musician, you always have to have a certain sense of delusion
Yeah.
when you're doing things. So it's like, yes, I look very, very confident doing stuff in front of the camera. But I will say this, to this day, as a musician, I've been performing for years, I still get nervous
Really?
before I start. Oh yeah. Not like that you could tell, but you get like the jitters when you're like waiting in like a bar or you're like backstage somewhere, you get the jitters. But once I hit that first note and bam, it's in, it all kind
Yeah.
of
You start
melts.
feeling like you're
Yeah.
part of the show.
Yes.
No. But I think
Yes.
it's also very nice, no? Like at the beginning to start feeling these nerves, it's like, I don't know, it's like this adrenaline, that is coming to you. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Because so many people want to be like, so many people want to ask, like, where do you get your confidence from? Where do you get all this? It's like, I don't know. It's like, if you don't have the confidence, maybe it's you that like can't do it. And look, and I'll say this: listen, in the age of TikTok and all of this stuff, I am glad that everybody's like, I can't be a performer. Good, keep it that way, please. We have enough people doing stuff that shouldn't be doing stuff. There are people, I see stuff all the time, and I'm like, why is this person famous? Like, that's or the thing that kills me is like when I see people who have no musical talent, and you can tell that everything that they're done, everything that like they've worked on is all just like production, and I'm like everyone's like tricked into believing that this is amazing, but it's like at the end of the day, I know that you can't actually do that. You worked with somebody who made you sound good, but at the end of the day, if you pull them on the side of the street and be like, oh yeah, go sing this or go act this, go do that, they can't do it.
Sometimes happen, yeah, that they don't
Yeah,
have like talent or they have a lot of production, of
yeah,
course. Yeah. But I think is the way it is sometimes, but also sometimes it's really cool when you see someone that has talent and don't need a lot of production, and you see the talent like impress you a lot in a very good way.
yes, and that's why, because okay, I'm gonna say this, not everybody, but a lot of people think modeling is easy, and this is where I'm gonna get your opinion on this. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Everything that we do in terms of like people in front of the camera, we make it look easier than it actually is.
Yeah, Absolutely.
That's
And sometimes it is not so easy. Sometimes it's
yeah,
really hard, and people don't release or see that. They just see that, oh, that looks very typical, and it's not so typical. It's a lot of things to do behind.
yeah, and it's also somebody could also say like, oh, that person's so this, that person's so. We talked about this last time. We're like, that person's so unapproachable. This is literally one of the nicest people that I've met on this podcast. Like, I'm not just saying that because you're here. Like, I legitimately believe that this is like one of the nicest people. It's like, so if
Oh,
you ever, so if you ever, I mean, granted,
thank you. You too. You are
yes,
really
thank
sweet.
you.
Like
Thank
I can tell that you are um, very human person. I can see like the way that you speak, the way that you talk when we are behind on air. Like you are very sweet. Yeah,
thank
you
you.
too. Yeah, and I like that. I like that because it's something that sometimes, like, I know guys and persons from Instagram, from social media, that you meet in real life, and they are like an assholes, or they are like these guys that they feel like they're floating on air, and it's like, God, oh my God, like, oh my God, like, it's like, bye, like, and it's not nice, because, okay, of course, like, there's other people that are sexy and they're hot and they're blah, 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 but also, like, I think, like, it's very cool when you meet someone that you admire or you see on social media, and then that person is very human. It's like,
Yes,
wow, that changed your mind completely.
yeah,
So yeah.
and with that, it's like to those people. I know, believe me, I've dealt with plenty of them trying to get people on here. Trust, I've dealt with plenty of people
Okay.
who are like that. And the thing is, at the end of the day, especially my thing is when I see people who are on like reality TV, and then all of a sudden they just like blow up, and then they're acting like, "Oh, you got to pay me this to get here. You got to pay me that to get there. You got to do all this." And I'm like, that's me in the back of my mind. I look at, it, I'm like, baby, 6 months ago, nobody knew who the fuck you were. Like, nobody knew who you were. And guess what? In a year, nobody's going to care about who you are. So it's like, at least in my view, it's like, take every opportunity you have. That's why, like, I'm grateful for the career that I have. Because, like, have I, like, really, really blown up huge, like, gone to, like, what people consider the top? No, but I kind of like it that way. Where I do this slow, like, gradual, sort of uphill battle because at the end of the day, I control everything that I do, and I'm not gonna like shoot up, and then you're not gonna like see me disappear.
No,
I,
of course
I,
not.
yeah, I own everything. So it's like
And
if
I
I
think,
want
like, the
to,
important thing is, like, to do something that you like. Like, I think
yeah,
that's the key, because life is very short, like, literally, and time is going past really fast at the end. And I think the important thing and the thing that matters is that you are doing something that you like, and you are
yes,
happy doing that.
yes,
I think that's the key. That's the key, really, because now you're young, and 10 years you will more older and more older and more older. And for example, in my case, I was like, I don't want to be this kind of guys that, oh my God, what if I will do this? What if I will be a model? What if I was doing this? Oh my God, what? I don't know, if I do this, my family is gonna think that I'm a slut, or I'm a whatever, and it's like, you have to do whatever you have to do. Don't bother, don't care about people, family, whatever. They're always are gonna think something about you. Like, you never will put people happy. They will never be happy at all.
no, because it's honestly to that point, you're not gonna please everybody, and like
No,
the
no,
moment you,
please at all.
yeah, the moment you no longer care about pleasing anybody. This happened to me. I would
Oh,
honestly
you will be
say,
miserable at the end.
yeah,
Miserable because you have to please everyone. That's not cool.
it's a lesson I learned at the age of like 15, 16 years old. I'd say, like,
Well,
I
you
mean,
learn it really
yeah,
fast.
yes. I basically said, like, because I saw, like, I have an older sister. I saw my older sister constantly doing stuff to, like, please my parents and stuff. But I basically said like, fuck it, that's not what I want to do. Like, I will try some things. I tried one thing to please my parents. I didn't like it. I said I want to do what I want to do because at the end of the day, it's like this is, as you said, this is life's short. Although sometimes it feels long, it feels very very long. But in true, life is short. And at the end of the day, if you regret anything, that's what I will say. That's what I was grateful to the pandemic for. Where it's like when I started showing off my body and showing all this and like dressing half naked as a performer and doing stuff and like honestly just getting to the point of saying like I love me and if you don't like this is how I always say it. If you don't like the way that my body looks, don't fucking stare at me. You don't have to. I'm not
Yeah.
asking you to pay attention to me. Like if you pay attention to me, cool. Great. I love it. Thank you for being one of my fans. But if you don't like what I'm doing, I'm not the only person out here performing. I'm not doing the shit myself. Like, go look at somebody else.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Like at the
Yeah.
end is what we're talking. Like you have
Yeah.
to do whatever you want to do, and think about like that makes you happy or not because it's what it is.
And ooh, hold on, let's get into my next question. So okay. So what was your boyfriend's reaction when he found out that you were an OnlyFans content creator?
My actual boyfriend.
Yes, your current boyfriend, yes.
Well, his name is Josu, and no, he's really sweet. Like at the beginning, I'm very like honest, with him all the time, and I just saw him like just the truth. Like, I'm working sometimes. Well, I work as a model, doing this, that, and that, and I also have a OnlyFans content, but it's just me. I showed him some material, and he was like, "That's okay for him." It was not like a big deal, It was not like, "Oh my God, you have a OnlyFans," or la la la. No, he was like okay with that. Nothing like crazy about it. As I say, he's really, really sweet, a very understanding person, and very mature. And I think he completely understands that it's a work and it's just for show my body to people in a very artistic and sexy way. Nothing like I'm not doing nothing crazy about the
Right.
OnlyFans. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, he was pretty okay with that. Yeah,
See, that's one thing. You're so grateful to have that because,
I am. I am. Yeah,
yes,
I'm
yes.
very lucky too because I always have very good boyfriends. Yeah, so I'm very happy with that. And with this guy, with Josu, I'm super happy. I can tell you, I cannot be more grateful to find him in my life.
No, I can. I mean, like, okay. I'm going to say this. Like, yes, I see you in your pictures and you look happy. A lot of that can be staged, but I feel like, well, okay. This is another question I'll ask on top of that. So, like, how long was it between when you started dating Yasu and when you actually like started showing him to people? Because I'm assuming it didn't happen like right away.
Again, how was the time when I meet Josu and I start showing the OnlyFans content?
No, no, no. I'm saying like when you started like taking pictures with him, showing stuff publicly on social media and all that.
Oh well, I don't know. Like, this is like a very intense question, and
Yeah,
I can tell you I don't have any problem at all. With him, I don't know what's happened. Like, I was very like I don't feel like I will never get like super in love again. I don't know. Maybe this sounds super stupid, super crazy, and people will not believe me. But okay, I was coming from a divorce, with a guy
right.
that I was married, and then I had like another choice with these guys from Netherlands, which it doesn't work, and we started being more or less a friend. And I love all
Yes.
his family, but it was not working and not working and not working. So then I was like kind of like a loss, like I don't know, like I don't think I'm gonna get super in love again. But when I meet Josu, everything was like very fast, very like I don't know, like if we're teens. Like it's super stupid, and I know like maybe you won't understand me, but it was like we're teen, like we're like, oh my god, everything was so perfect, so cool. Everything started going in the good way, and I don't know, like when I started showing him in social media, I think was like less than a month. Yeah, because
Oh,
it was very like, I don't know. I really like the guy. I really like the way that he is. I very like that he's very sweet. He liked to joke. He liked to play.
yes.
I feel very secure with him, and he's very caring about me. I care about him. I don't know. I think I never has what I have with Josu, with my other ex boyfriends, but
Right.
far away, like far away, like even not with a guy that I was marrying, which is like a big
Yes.
deal because I was married for like 9 years with this guy. I was 9 years with that guy, and I never
Right.
feel like that way with any guy before. And I think less than a month, I start showing to social media. Yeah, but
Well,
it's what I wanna go. Like if you're happy and if it
yes.
makes you happy, who cares what people think? At the end, people are gonna judge you because they're gonna think like, oh my god, you're doing this for that, or you're a slut, or you're this, or you're that, and you're like, whatever. People are gonna
Yes.
talk.
No, I mean, first of all, I get where you're coming from because, like, this is I would say, one of the hardest things about being in the spotlight. It's like, even if, okay, let's just say, theoretically, I know you said that you showed him after a month. Let's say you wanted to wait like 3 months before you officially just like started putting him out on social media.
Yeah,
You're somewhat well known. Like, you're not going to be able to, like, I'm not
hide
saying
it.
you're, yeah, you're not going to be able to hide it. I'm not saying you're like Lady Gaga, but like people know who you
No, I'm
are.
not.
So
No, I'm not Lady Gaga. I love
yeah,
her.
yes. So
She's
like,
beautiful.
yes, I love Gaga too. But
I
it's
love
like,
Gaga too.
you're not going to be able to hide stuff, and it's
No,
easier.
and believe it or not, he lives in Paris, and he comes a lot to Spain because he's from Spain, from the Basque country, which is San Sebastian, and he knows a lot of people from the gay community in Barcelona, and the gay
Yes,
community in Barcelona is like this, like this, like this. It's very small, it's very small
right.
community. So yeah, even if we want to hide it, it's not gonna happen, because a lot of people knows. Yeah, yeah.
And that's the
And
thing.
gays are very gossip. Come on, like they will say, "Oh my god, do you see this?" Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, not. What am I trying to say? Um. Yeah, it's like, as you say, you put yourself in the spotlight, especially you're tall like I am. Like, especially me, I'm sitting there in a wig. If I wanted to date somebody and like they're constantly around me and like I'm kissing them, you can't hide me very well. Like, I already know this
No.
about myself. Like, I get a lot of attention. People like pay attention to me. I get it. So it's like, with that, and like, this is the thing. Like, I'm not gonna say what, but like, obviously, like, with you, like, there are certain things that, like, if something gets leaked about you, well, everybody's gonna pay attention to it because they want to be like, oh my god, what's this? Like, what's this news? Because everyone, I say, in some ways, a lot of people want to see people fall when they're up in this, when they have their own like sort of light, and they're in any form of like modeling, entertainment, whatever. They want to see people fall. They want to see you fail. There's plenty of people want to see you fail,
I
but
mean, I receive a lot of messages like constantly, and I receive a lot of messages like sometimes I,
yeah,
I didn't read it because I don't have the time, not because I
of
don't want to be
course,
rude. And I receive both. Like I receive sometimes message super super bad message. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god. And then I also receive message super sweet. From persons that like they told me like, oh my god, like you both look so cute, or I like a lot your relationship, or I like a lot like you are posting all your relationship and looks so super nice. I would love, or you inspire me. Like I would like to have something like that one day. I
Yes.
also receive sometimes messages from teens, like guys that are like 60, 17. And it's really sweet, like at the end, I'm doing what I want to do, but at the end, you inspire in certain ways some persons. Maybe there are persons are in a very different country that is not so gay, and they cannot be doing that, like because they
Right.
can't, or they are like still in the closet, and it's nice like that I'm showing the love in social media. I don't fucking care. And I like the way that people can see it and they can be inspired in a good way. And that's the nice thing. Of course, there's only this part that there will
Yeah.
be always people that they wanna see you fall. But who cares? It's like the same if you're doing like a wedding, like everyone will comment like a random and like a good or bad thing, or in a party, like, oh my god, she looks beautiful. She looks like that. She doesn't look beautiful. It's like it's the same. You have to don't pay attention to negative things and just focusing positive stuff.
Yeah. And honestly, if you don't have people hating, well, this is what I. If you don't have haters, then you're
You are
doing
not doing
something.
something good, babe.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong.
That's what he's
Because
saying, no? Like if you are
yeah,
not, if you don't have haters, it's because you are not doing something good.
no, because I see people all the time, like especially on like videos of me like singing and all this stuff, and like I know that I have, not to sound arrogant, but like I know that I have talent, and it's like when people are like, oh my gosh, that wasn't so good, that wasn't so bad. I'd like to see you try it. Like,
Yeah,
like where
do
are
it by
you?
yourself.
Yeah, it's like where are you? It's like you're sitting behind keyboard, your phone screen, whatever you're typing to me.
Oh
It's like
no, I have a
it's
lot of friends and family like that. That they
yeah,
are like, oh my god, what if I will be doing that? Or they are like really repressed because they never do something. I have family like that, and it's really sad, like really sad. Like, and then you see them, and they are like a trap in a bubble, like in a circle, And no, it's not cool.
no,
No,
because
that's good that you are doing what you want.
yeah, and I'm not doing stuff that I don't know how to do. Like this is I'm not trying to be one of those stereotypical cliche type people, but it's like yes, eventually I would like to go into acting. But let's be clear, I'm going to take some acting classes before I go on stage or on like a movie or whatever. You're not going to see me like Mariah Carey and Glitter where like all the gays were hating on it and like she couldn't act. I'm like, if you're gonna get in front of the camera and do something, you better know how to do it. Because if not, as we pointed out, people are ready. They're like they're ready to go on that keyboard and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is the worst. You should have never done this. I don't get why you don't have friends. Whatever, blah blah blah. Go kill yourself." Like,
Yeah,
and
that's sad.
yeah, and we hear those kind of messages all the time. Like, well, maybe not go kill yourself, but like some people get intense like that, and I just
But it's
think,
part of the show. It's part like if you are like being in the center of the spotlight, like a lot of people are gonna talk. This is always something that they're gonna happen. It's like you just have to concentrate in the positive stuff and yeah, don't listen to stuff because otherwise you can be depressed, and it's like they don't think in that. It's just like you just have to don't listen on that negative stuff.
yes. Okay, so I'm gonna jump back a bit. So you said that your boyfriend lives in France, and obviously you're in Spain. So in any ways, has that like made it easier or harder for you to be in a relationship, being in the fact that you two are in two different countries?
Well, it's hard, and okay, like how can I explain this? Okay, we meet like around April, May,
Yes.
and when we start dating, we both talk like about like he knows that I'm living in Barcelona and he lives in Paris, but he's gonna come to live here in Barcelona. So that was the plan, that he's gonna move to Barcelona in November. So that's why we start being boyfriends and dating, because we already
Yeah.
have like all the plan since the beginning, the very first beginning. So of course, these months, all the weekends we meet. We see in
Right.
a part of the world, or I go to Paris, or he come to Barcelona, or we meet in Madrid, or we meet in whatever place. And well, it's not easy because I don't like this way about to have a distant relationship, but it's working. I
Yeah.
think because we're seeing all the weekends. All the weekends we see together, like I go, he come. I think otherwise it's gonna be really hard.
Yeah, I could. Well, first of all, when you're saying that, it's like that's so much easier because,
Yeah.
well, it's basically it's like you're seeing each other theoretically as if you were in you were in a relationship in Spain, because it's like clearly if you were dating somebody in Barcelona, you wouldn't be with them every day, like unless they were like living with you. You wouldn't be with them every day.
Yeah.
You'd
Hmm.
be you'd be working. Especially me, as like I see those like pop stars who like have their boyfriends around them all the time. I'm like, this is at least my view. I'm like, don't you got a fucking job? Like, what are you doing constantly with me? It's like I'm working. What are you doing? You're just sitting back here doing nothing. Like, expecting me to do everything. But yeah, I get that. It's like I'm trying to think, because I've had this thought in my mind. It's like, could I do it? As you said, it's hard. Like,
No, it's hard,
yeah,
and it's hard because you have to travel. You have sometimes the lights on your flight.
right.
It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. But well, we have this agreement that we would like to see each other like all the weekends. So we're doing that since the very beginning. So it's like it's working. It's working, and I like it. I like it because it's very different, and it's also is nice when you are traveling, and more when you are traveling to see the person that you love. That's
Yes.
very very cool, very sweet. And yeah, and plus he's gonna move here to Barcelona now in November.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that makes things more easy, because if not, it's gonna be like, I think, like a chaotic situation, like you don't know what is gonna happen.
No, and without a plan, I
Yeah.
mean, granted, it's nice that like the plan is happening so soon with you guys, but like if there isn't a plan, this thing of like you're eventually gonna move here eventually, it's like at some point eventually does it become enough? You have to make like a are you gonna actually do this? When are you gonna actually do this? Like
Yeah,
when are we
yeah,
gonna be together? Yeah.
yeah, but for that you have to talk and you have to be honest. And I think also like our relationship is very mature. It's like we really know what we want. We both been in long relationships before, and we don't want to lose time. It's like, and that's very important because sometimes when you are like at the beginning, I don't know, I will say 20s, when you're in your 20s,
Right.
you don't know what you want. You don't even know what you want for yourself in your life. You don't have nothing. You're like just thinking about, oh, I would like to do this, I would like to do that, but you still are very confusing. But when you are more older and you have more relationships, I'm talking about relationships,
Yeah.
you know what you want. Like, okay, I don't want that, or I really want that, or I would like to do this, or I would not like to do that. Or you can be for example, very clear. Like, for example, I will put this example with my ex-boyfriend, the guy from Netherlands. He never wants to get
Yes.
married again, or get married. He was never married. He didn't want to get married, and it's something that I would like to do again.
Yes.
And it's not cool that you are dating someone that don't have the same things in common, the same way, because at the end you are limit yourself for something that you would like to do, and you cannot do it because the other person don't want. So with Josu, which is my boyfriend, I think we
Yes.
have the same things in common. It's like I would like to do this, I would like to do that, I would like to do that. Yes, I like that. And that match and that create like a very strong and confident relationship that you already know what you want. So it's the same what we are talking about moving. He was telling me I
Yes.
will move to Barcelona in November because I have a project. La 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 la. So then that makes more easy the start to being boyfriends and start dating for that reason.
Right. And with that, it's like, first of all, the point that you said about being in your 20s, now that I've like, I can say that now, I'm getting so old. No, I'm kidding.
Come
No,
on.
I'm kidding. But like, now that I've crossed that threshold to 30, because that's
Yeah.
then something else that happened. So my birthday was in June. So like, now that I'm 30, I feel like it was time to do stuff. And I think the one thing that like probably shocked people the most about me moving was the fact that I did it. I made from the time that I made the plan to when I actually moved, I did it in under a year. So
That's
like,
nice.
yeah. So I lived. So I think I'm not sure with everyone, but I think there were a lot of people. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of people. There were a few people in my life that didn't think I was actually going to do it, and
There's always people that they think that you're not gonna do it.
no, because well, the thing was, I had. This is why I hate projections. That's why I said when my album is going to come out when it comes out. So like,
Uh-huh.
my original plan was to move by June, and it took me till September to do it. So I'm like, because life happens, you can't always do everything in the time that you want to do things. You
No, you have
sometimes,
to get time in order to do
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, of course.
But once it did, like, I don't know, it's getting past the, and you might have known this in between, like, your relationships. You probably had this, like, time where you have to somewhat get adapted to being alone. I'm not saying lonely, but at some point you have to be alone by yourself. And that's been the hardest adjustment for me because I'm so used to, like, being surrounded by people and I'm now on my own and I'm not necessarily having interactions with people and it does get lonely, but I mean, I knew it was going to come. I've been in this situation before. It's just, it feels somewhat foreign, but it's also freeing.
Yeah, but it's also part of the process, no? Like you have
Yes.
to start doing that in the process in order to grow up and in order to discover yourself, what you want, what do you feel, what do you like, and then people are gonna come. You will always will meet new people, and you will always will have
Yes.
new friends and new family, because family not always are family from blood. Like, and I think that's the nicer thing about doing this kind of process when you move and you start doing something by yourself, because you start, yeah, knowing about yourself, knowing about you what you like, and
Yes.
you are growing. It's like a process that if you stay in your comfort area, you will be always in that comfort area forever and ever. It's like, so yeah, I always recommend that like to people. And I'm sadly when I see my old friends, when that they didn't do nothing at all, they didn't move, or you see how the way they think and they behave, and it's like I feel they are like a trap in the
Yes.
in the town, in the city, whatever you want to call. Like they're like a,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it's nice when people they do that, because they change a lot. Like the other day, I was in a disco and I met a friend from Mexico City when I was modeling, an actor, and he was telling me like, "Oh my God, like I didn't see you like for a long, long time ago." La, 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 la. And he was really impressed. Like you never come back to Mexico again, and he told me you leave Mexico almost 10 years ago, and then you start to realize like, oh my God, like 10 years ago I lived Mexico City. 10 years I was living in Mexico, and then you start feeling like how long it will be all the process and all the way that you grow up,
Yes.
and that's nice. I think that kind of stuff doesn't happen to you because of course now maybe you're feeling lonely or you're feeling like you are like in the process,
Hmm.
but at the end of the time you're gonna be much much better, believe me.
Yeah. Yes. And that was, so your thing about the comfort, I I didn't feel comfortable, which is why I motivated myself. I did all this stuff. I used to have a job where I used to have to commute to work all the time, and there were jobs that I could have gotten closer to where I lived, but the commute was like, if I keep this commute in my life, this will motivate me to move because it's like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna want to commute all this time. I'm gonna want to be like exploring things, and what you do is you do research about stuff. Like I'm pretty sure. I mean, granted, yes, you moved there because of your ex-husband, but it's not like you moved to Spain without knowing anything before you left Mexico, correct?
Yeah.
So like you do research into stuff and you find out sort of what the city's like, what's this like, what is the gay
Yeah, you
scene
create
like.
like no, you create just like an idea, like at
Yeah,
the end you don't know exactly how is the way it's gonna be, but yeah, like you just create like an idea and then you discover yourself, maybe there's person like they don't like it or they will be like, oh my God, no, I will go back, what I'm doing here. But in my case, I'm very luckily, like I really like it. I like the gay community here.
yes,
As I say, like the other time in another interview, people, gay community here, they are, I don't know, very advanced, very nice people. You meet a lot of guys from every part of the world, and I feel like in a new San Francisco living here in Barcelona, and I'm super
yes,
ultra happy here in Barcelona. And I will definitely will not change Barcelona unless another thing happens in the future. I don't know, but I like the city and I like the gay community here because they are very open mind. You can be with
yes,
your boyfriend, I don't know, in the street or in the hands, whatever, and you will not hear people like telling you something rude or something bad because you are gay or you are a drag and you are wearing like like whatever you are wearing, like a nice dress or whatever, and the people will laugh,
yes.
they will be pointing you like, oh my God, you are doing that. No, here in Barcelona, like literally, there's a lot of gay bars, gay community, and I really like that. I think it's very, very cool for a city such as Barcelona. So I'm very grateful to stay here in Barcelona.
Right. And that's one thing that I had to explain to people about Detroit. So like not necessarily like I don't know exactly what the gay scene's like here. I'm learning about it, but it's like you see people with the gay pride flag all the time
Yeah,
everywhere, and you see all this, and like it's like you get to see stuff, and it's like to be in a more like progressive area, in an area that's more open minded, versus being in Florida. It's pretty much one side politically rules all, and like it's a very conservative side, and they're not about changing, they're not about growing and evolving. And at the end of the day, you have to like I understand in the LGBT community. Do I understand everything that goes on in the LGBT community? Of course not. I We can both say this. You can be as part of the queer community as you want to be. You're not going to understand everything, but you have to let people know that it's okay for them to express themselves in the way that they want
yeah,
because that's them. And
It's
when
not
they
you.
explain, yeah, it's not you, it's them, and they can explain things to you, and from there you just get more of a wealth of knowledge about communities that you necessarily weren't a part of. And with that, you just like learn to evolve and grow. And that's how we should be as human beings. If you're like not evolving and growing until the day you die, at least in my view, you've wasted your life. If
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to, yeah, like just be open to all the ways of love, like, and all the ways to be. You you can be wherever you want to be, but also you have to leave the other person's be in the way that they want, and not because the other person is maybe queer means that he's a bad person. Like,
yeah,
I don't know, like I meet a lot of such persons in my life, and some are like a really normal heterosexual, others are gay, or are queer, or are like whatever, and you don't have to judge. At the end, we are humans, and all we want love. At the end, we want attention, we want to be loved, and we want to give love to everyone. So I think that's the important message, like about this. Like, you just have to understand and to try to, yeah, understand that persons and understand you, because sometimes we don't know
no, yes, absolutely. You don't know.
what is behind, what is like why this person is caring, why this person is suffering, what this person want to share, what these persons can afford to the community.
Yes,
So we just have to be open, and we just have to be supportive and give love. I think that's
and
the important thing. That's the really important thing in life. And
yes,
yeah, and help, if you can help someone, always do it. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's you have to be open, and you have to not. I would say, especially this. There are some people who believe in this in America. I don't know if it's like this in Spain. Those people who are like the LGB movement and they're anti putting trans people as part of the community. It's like, but you don't understand with that. It's like the reason we as queer people, we as gay people have to fight for trans people is because they were there to fight for us when we didn't have anybody.
Yeah,
So, in that, just the thing of, oh, I don't want to help trans people. At the end of the day, we're all
together.
in this together. Yeah. And trust, I don't know, again, in Spain,
I don't hear nothing
it's
about that in Spain.
it's no in Spain, of course, because
No.
Europe is usually not 100%, but it's usually better on this kind of stuff than it is in America, where you have to tell people it's like trust. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of change going on. This is an election year. It's
Yeah.
very sort of it's a time where people are like you have to pay attention because it's like if you don't pay attention we could go backwards, not forwards, and quote unquote forwards. It's essentially it's staying the same or going backwards, and
No,
in
and that's
that,
not the way.
no,
Definitely.
no, you want to just like have people who are honestly looking out for your best interests, and that's what I would. That was one of the things that I told people was that no matter what happens with the election, if Kamala Harris wins, if Donald Trump wins, I'm now in Detroit. So like I'm now in Michigan. So no matter what's going on out there, if something goes if something goes right, it will be great. I will be part of the joyous celebration that everyone will be having here. If Kamala Harris gets elected, it will be a giant celebration in this city. If it does if it doesn't happen and Donald Trump ends up getting elected, I'm safe. And that's probably the one thing that I like is the fact that I can say that now. Whereas when I was in Florida, it's like you just toss things up in the air and
And you don't know what's gonna happen.
yeah, because there's gonna be I will say this, anyone who's like, I don't know all this for the people in America. It's like I don't know. It's like if you elect Donald Trump again, if you're a queer person and you elect Donald Trump again, stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like bad things are going to happen, and this is me somewhat warning y'all: don't do it. Don't. I don't care if you don't 100% agree with everything that somebody says. Don't do it. Don't literally just don't do it.
Okay.
Yes. And all right. So to my final question. So do you have any aspirations to go into other fields?
Oof. To do another stuff,
Wait,
you
wait,
mean?
wait, 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 wait. Sorry, I just wrote this question and realized this is in English, so I have to try and like figure out what I was trying to say. Okay. Do you have aspirations to go into other fields? Oh, there we go. Do you have any aspirations to go into other fields, being that you'll eventually get aged out of the modeling industry, meaning to stay in the spotlight?
Well, I don't know. At the moment, I'm just trying to do like what I like,
Yeah.
and I still like to doing modeling stuff until I can't. And of course, like I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I'm still enjoying it, and I'm just trying to be me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's happening in the future, but like, yeah, I'm still going with the stuff that I like, and that's what I'm doing. Things that I like. Yeah,
Right. Because you've been, I'm trying to remember this correctly. You've been doing it for like,
modeling.
for modeling for like what, 15 years? I might be wrong about that.
No, like for 60, 17 years.
Okay, so that's close. But it's
You're
like,
very close.
yeah, but
No,
like,
yeah, yeah. I'm still doing like, I mean, it's not like that I'm doing like all the time, and like,
no,
but it's hard, and also of course like I'm not getting bored into doing that, but of course, there's a time I don't want to be with 60 doing that, right? But at the moment, I like it. I still getting proposals to do with photographers and stuff and with brands, and since I can do it, and I feel comfortable doing this material about modeling and this stuff things, I will do it. Like I like it. I really like it. I really enjoy it. I think it's something that is the thing where I decide to move to Mexico City to start being a model, and it's the
yes,
thing that start to change my life. Like because it's something that I really like. It is my passion. It's something that makes me feel really happy. And I think when you are doing something that makes you happy, you should keep doing. And I kept doing that until I can't, and I don't
yes,
care what people say. It's gonna do it like as I can. Maybe there will be a day that I will say, okay, I feel like terrible, like I don't want to do this stuff anymore because I'm so tired. But right now, I like it, I enjoy it, and I like to inspire people, and I like to do this kind of stuff. Like this is my job. I really like it. I think it's something really cool, and it's something that make me with a lot of joy, and more when I meet people, and there's people that
yes,
they recognize you and they talk to you and they say like, oh my god, like I know you are from Instagram, you're a model and you was doing this, or you were from this brand. And I
yeah,
receive sometimes messages from guys that, oh my god, I know you since you was living in Mexico City, or I know since you was working from this brand, which is like almost
yes,
8 years ago, and makes you really happy. And when you receive this kind of message, or the message from new generations, and they admire your job and they feel free, or they feel powerful, and they feel like they can have the courage to do this kind of stuff, makes you with a lot of great. And it's like, oh my god, I'm doing something great, because it's really nice that a guy from this part of the world, whatever, he get inspired and he's doing something in order to, yeah, to create his dreams come true. And
yes,
that you are helping that person makes me really happy.
yes. And that's on. First of all, that's amazing. I love that. And to obviously answer this question, as I've always said, much like many of my idols, I want to drop dead on stage. So like, I will be performing till the end. Now, will I necessarily be performing the way that I was now 10 years from now? No, because I've now been a performer for for almost 10 years now, and
Yeah,
there's a way that I used to be able to move 10 years ago that I can't do now, and it's because
yeah,
your body ages, but like as long as I can still get on that stage, dance, and perform, I'm gonna do it as long as I possibly can. And if I can't, when I can't do it, I'm a singer. So when I can't do it, you're gonna get to this point where I'm gonna get on the stage. It's gonna be me in a bar stool, and I'm just gonna be singing the songs the way I do my ballads all the time now for every song. And it's nice. I would say it's nice to be in an industry where you don't age, where you don't have to age out. Now, I always say the fact that I look younger than I actually am is actually a benefit to me.
yeah.
I'd say because it's
To
like,
all.
yeah, so it's like I can do it a lot longer. But yes, I understand. First of all, I totally get what you're saying. You want to do, which, as you said before, you want to do what you have to do to love it, and as long as you keep finding new ways to, I'm gonna say, make it interesting for yourself. I'm not gonna say reinvent yourself because I feel like
No, but you
you
have to
don't have to.
reinvent. Like at the end, you
Yeah.
have to reinvent yourself, like doing stuff and doing whatever you are doing, because like otherwise it's gonna be super boring, you know. But I think it's part of the job, and it's the same what you are doing with the performance. Maybe your performance in 10 years now the same.
Yeah.
No depends about your age. Maybe because you recreate yourself and you decide, oh my god, I would like to do this now. I would like to do this way. I would like to
Yes.
pull. I would like whatever.
Yeah.
So it's the same when you are modeling, and it's the same when you are doing other stuff. You have to reinvent yourself and do something that you like it. Like that's the important thing. Like if you like it and makes you happy and makes you a lot of joy, you are doing from the right way.
Yes. And I mean, just to point out, somebody that I know who's one of Ramiro's, I'm gonna say is one of Ramiro's favorite singers, which is Madonna.
Yeah, I like it.
Yes. Yeah. I would. I listen. I know I'm gonna get hate from Madonna fans. Whatever. It's like I love Madonna. Don't get me wrong. I
Everyone
feel
loves Madonna.
yes. I feel like she should have stopped performing the way she's trying to do now. Maybe 10 years ago, instead of, because I've seen the stuff. I've seen the. Well, okay. I'm gonna ask you this. This is gonna be another question. So I saw that you saw Madonna's most recent tour. I saw you
Yeah,
do. So
true.
had you seen Madonna perform before that, or was that your first time going to see Madonna?
No, no, no. It was my first time, and for me, was like a dream come true, you know. And I really love her. I like her music, and inspire me a lot. A lot of her music and the lyrics and the videos. So I'm super happy with the show, Madonna. And I don't have nothing bad to say about her. I really like her. I would like that she sing more new songs, because the concert it was more from the celebration tour, so it
Yeah.
was more about like the classic and the old music. So I was like, oh my god, I would like that she, I don't know, do more new songs. But at the end, all the show was amazing, and she looks spectacular.
Well, okay. When you say when you say new songs, you mean new songs from what era? Because I'm just
I
gonna
don't
say,
know, from the new albums, from the new albums.
because I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I was not a huge fan of Madam X. I just put it out there. Like I was I was on the well, not that I hated Madam X, but like my favorite two albums of hers are Confessions on a Dance Floor and MDNA. So like that to me, it's like those are two of her best eras. And I get you saying that she should have done newer stuff. Right. Understand that. But there's some things. I love you, Madonna. Don't put out new music. Just we love your legacy. We love your legacy. Keep your legacy the way it is.
Okay, I love her.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So anyway, yes, love Madonna. So, with that being said, it was definitely a pleasure getting to sit down with you again.
Thank you. It
Yeah.
was a pleasure. Me too. And I'm really to stay here for a second time. Thank you for your time. Thank you
Of
for
course.
the nice conversation.
Yes.
And hope to see you soon. And
Yeah.
I wish you the best in this new part of your life, and start
Yes.
doing the same, doing what you want and what you makes you happy. I think that's the important thing, and that will be my advice for you.
Yes. Thank you. And I'm going to say the same to you. You do seem very happy, and I'm glad. First, I'm one of those people, I say, if you're not happy when people are like thriving and succeeding in their own field of work, when you're in a different field, you're a hater. Like, you hate on them, and you're not really their friends. That's just my opinion.
No, and life is like so short to be just focused in be hateful. It's like
Yes.
if you are hateful, you have a problem, and try to take care of that problem, because like at the end, we stay so not so long time here in life, and I think the important thing is like to give love and to help people and to be happy for other people and to be happy yourself. So
Yes.
yeah, and find your passion.
Yes. Yes.
And
With that,
yes.
yes. And with that being said, this is Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and I hope you've enjoyed.